myself. My name is Cecily Cardew.
Cecily Cardew? What a very sweet name. Something tells me that we are going to be great friends.
Oh, I like you more already than I can say. My first impressions of people are never wrong.
Oh, how nice of you to like me so much after we've known each other for such a relatively short time. Pray, sit down.
I may call you Cecily, may I not?
Oh, with pleasure.
And you will always call me Gwendolen, won't you?
If you wish.
Then that is all quite settled, is it not?
I hope so.
Perhaps this might be a favourable opportunity for my mentioning who I am. My father is Lord Bracknell. You have never heard of Papa, I suppose.
I don't think so.
Outside the family circle, Papa, I am glad to say, is entirely unknown. I think that is exactly as it should be. The home seems to me to be the proper sphere for the man. And certainly, once a man begins to neglect his domestic duties, he becomes painfully effeminate, does he not? And I don't like that. It makes men so very attractive. Cecily, Mamma, whose views on education are remarkably strict, has brought me up to be extremely short-sighted. It is part of her system. So, do you mind me looking at you through my glasses?
Oh, well, not at all, Gwendolen. I'm very fond of being looked at.
You are here on a short visit, I suppose?
No, I live here.
Really? Your mother, no doubt, or some female relative of advanced years lives here also?
No. I have no mother, nor, in fact, any relations.
Indeed.
My dear guardian, with the assistance of Miss Prism, has the arduous task of looking after me.
Your guardian?
Yes, I am Mr. Worthing's ward.
Oh! Oh! It is strange to me. He never mentioned that he had a ward. How very secretive of him. He grows more interesting hourly. I am not sure, however, that the revelation fills me with feelings of unmixed delight. I am very fond of you, Cecily. I have liked you ever since I met you. But I am bound to state, now that I know that you are Mr. Worthing's ward, I cannot help expressing a wish that you were, well, just a little older than you seem to be, and not quite so very alluring. In fact, if I may speak quite candidly...
Oh, pray do. I think that whenever anyone has anything unpleasant to say, one should always be quite candid.
Well, to speak with perfect candour, Cecily, I wish that you were fully 42 and more than usually plain for your age. Ernest has a strong, upright nature. He is the very soul of truth and honour. Disloyalty would be as impossible to him as deception, but even men of the noblest possible moral character are extremely susceptible to the influences and the physical charms of others. Modern, no less than ancient history provides us with many most painful examples of what I refer to. If it were not so, indeed, history would be quite unreadable.
I beg your pardon. Gwendolen, did you say Earnest?
Yes.
Well, but it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is my guardian, it is his brother, his elder brother.
Ernest never mentioned to me that he had a brother.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that they have not been on good terms for quite some time.
That's for it! And now that I think of it, I have never heard any man mention his brother. The subject seems distasteful to most men. Oh, Cecily, you have lifted a load from my mind. I was growing almost anxious. It would be terrible if any cloud had come to darken a friendship as good as ours, would it not? You are quite sure, though, that it is not Mr. Ernest Worthing who is your guardian?
Quite sure. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm going to be his.
I beg your pardon.
Dearest Gwendolen, there's no reason why I should keep it a secret from you. Our little country newspaper is set to chronicle the fact next week. Mr. Ernest Worthing and I are engaged to be married!
Darling Cecily, I think there must be some slight error. Mr. Ernest Worthing is engaged to me. The announcement will appear in the Morning Post on Saturday at the latest.
Well, I'm afraid you must be under some misconception, because Ernest proposed to me exactly 10 minutes ago.
It is certainly very curious, for he asked me to be his wife yesterday afternoon at 5:30. If you care to verify the incident, pray do so. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train.
Oh. I'm so sorry, my dear Cecily, if it is any disappointment to you.
But I am afraid I have the pride claim.
It would distress me more than I can tell you, dear Gwendolen, if it caused you any mental or physical anguish, but I feel bound to point out that since Ernest proposed to you, he clearly has changed his mind.
If the poor fellow has been entrapped into any foolish promise, I shall consider it my duty to rescue him at once, and with a firm hand.
Whatever unfortunate entanglement my dear boy may have gotten into, I will never reproach him with it after we are married.
Do you allude to me, Miss Cardew, as an entanglement? You are presumptuous! At an engagement of this kind, it becomes more than a moral duty to speak one's mind. It becomes a pleasure.
Oh, you suggest, Miss Fairfax, that I entrapped Ernest into an engagement? How dare you! This is no time for wearing the shallow mask of manners. When I see a spade, I call it a spade.
I'm glad to say I have never seen a spade. It is obvious our social spheres are widely different.